Here, they told me to stand by.
There's a young woman in here. Her husband's working today, but she's not sure he's working here.
Hundreds of rescue workers will be digging throughout the night, hoping there is still life under the tons of fallen concrete. Bill O'Reilly, ABC News.
In other news today, the biggest name in Wall Street's insider trading scandal, Ivan Boesky, has finally appeared in court. He made hundreds of millions of dollars by buying and selling in companies just as they were about to be taken over. But Boesky used inside information, as you know. First he paid a fine, and now he faces time in prison. Here's our business correspondent, Stephen Ogg.
It was a grim-faced Ivan Boesky who entered the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan today. Under an agreement with prosecutors, he pled guilty to a criminal charge of filing false information with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Boesky stood between his lawyers as U.S. District Judge Morris Lasker asked him whether he understood the consequences of his guilty plea. Lasker set sentencing for August 21st. Boesky could get 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. The change in Boesky's appearance is dramatic. From a constantly smiling, high-rolling Wall Street speculator of just a few years ago to a worn-out, ashen-looking man, obviously frightened as he was hustled out a rear door of the courthouse, surrounded by dozens of cameras, and into a rented limousine. U.S. Attorney Rudolph Giuliani told reporters the agreement not to prosecute Boesky beyond the single charge was made because Boesky didn't wait to be indicted. He came in early and cooperated.
It would have taken fully 2 years to get to the stage that we would have been able to convict Mr. Boesky, have his appeal decided. There's nothing that guarantees the fact that we would have been able to indict him or that we would have been able to convict him after having indicted him.
Giuliani refused to identify who's next in the continuing Wall Street scandal. A year ago, hardly anybody outside the financial industry had even heard of Ivan Boesky. Now his name has become symbolic of what federal prosecutors call a systemic disease on Wall Street, a disease they say requires more strong medicine. Stephen Ogg, ABC News, New York.
Later in this broadcast, the Star Wars program gets a bad review from some top scientists. Strangers band together to help a sick child. And a very unusual look inside Iran.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by Correctall Tablets.
Women have such busy schedules today with their work.
Now in